Just ahead on CTV News, the interim police chief shares more on his main priorities, and the county studies how local businesses affect residents' health. Plus,
college basketball is changing fast, and there is a lot to keep track of, especially for the players. I'm Benji Kaufman, and I'll have more on how athletes are navigating this moment in college sports, coming up on CTV News.
Those stories and more on CTV News, starting now.
Good evening. This is CTV News for July 23rd. I'm Byron Scott.
And I'm Katara Jones. Thanks for joining us.
Well, interim Georgia's police chief, George Nader, hosted a meet and greet for members of the local media. Yesterday, CTV sat down with the interim chief to talk about the transition to his new position back in his old department. Chief Nader has a number of things he'd like to do, and his first priority is hiring more officers.
The main thing that we need to focus on is hiring officers. So we're 330 officers short. We have 200 to 300 officers eligible to retire within the next year. So we need to concentrate on what can we do to keep those officers here longer, and then what can we do to bring more officers on.
And Nader says he's looking to hire 60 to 80 officers a year.
In Prince George's County, some neighborhoods are thriving. Think million-dollar homes and access to quality grocery stores and restaurants. But others, especially inside the Beltway, tell a different story. Down parts of Maryland Route 704, you'll spot liquor stores, carry-outs, and tobacco shops, sometimes two liquor stores side by side. Now, county leaders want to know what's the health impact of these kinds of businesses. The county is launching a study to connect the dots with the goal of shaping future zoning laws and possibly creating an impact fee for those types of businesses. And a woman is in critical condition following a shooting in Laurel late last night. Police responded to a call about a shooting near the Sunco on Laurel Bowie Road. Once they arrived, they found the victim suffering from a gunshot wound. A male suspect is currently in custody after fleeing the scene and unsuccessfully attempted to steal a nearby woman's car. The Prince George's County Police have not released the name or charges of the suspect.
The Montgomery County Council just gave the green light to a zoning change that could bring more housing options to the county. Think duplexes, triplexes, townhomes, and small apartment buildings, all under 40 feet. These will go up along key corridors of each project, will get reviewed case by case. It's part of the More Housing Now initiative led by 2 council members. Under the measure, 15% of units in larger buildings would have to meet workforce housing standards and remain affordable for at least 20 years.
I've listened intently to residents around the county, and I've heard loud and clear. And I think this room today is representative of that. Most have serious concerns, questions, if not outright opposition to this ZTA, not out of a sense of, for the most part, not wanting more housing or more affordable housing. I think we all want that. But that this won't deliver it, and it has some serious negative consequences that are not being paid attention to.
Every proposal will still go through a full review process. Currently, the average price of a single-family home in Montgomery County is more than $800,000.
Picture this, the president sues an entire federal bench. Now, Maryland's judges are pushing back hard in a blistering motion to dismiss. All 15 federal judges in Maryland called the Trump administration's lawsuit against them a, quote, truly extraordinary attack on the separation of powers. The Justice Department sued the judges' court clerk and the U.S. District Court over an order that temporarily delays deportations, giving immigrants time to challenge their removal in court. The judges argue that it's well within their authority, calling it a modest and lawful safeguard, not judicial overreach.
And a rally was held on Capitol Hill today to protest cuts to the National Atmospheric and Oceanic Administration. U.S. Senator Chris Van Hollen joined protesters outside the Capitol today. He highlighted the services NOAA offers, such as disaster preparedness and climate research. Earlier this year, recently fired employees protested outside NOAA headquarters in Silver Spring. Today, Van Hollen warned that other cuts are in the works.
I will say, in some bit of at least preliminary good news, thanks to all of you weighing in, and thanks to people understand the important work that NOAA does in so many areas, helping with our seafood, helping with our coastal communities, helping with climate research. In the Senate Appropriations Committee, in the bill that just passed out of our committee, we do not accept the deep cuts made by the Trump administration. And I'm very proud to be the senior Democrat on that subcommittee. And we are going to keep fighting alongside of you throughout this process to protect those vital services that NOAA does and the people who do them.
Maryland Attorney General Anthony Brown and a coalition of attorneys general is opposing a move by the USDA to collect personal data of about millions of food stamp recipients. The plan, according to Brown, is then to share the information with other federal agencies. Brown says the sharing of information has nothing to do with the integrity of the SNAP program, and the information could be used for immigration enforcement, among other things.
And in another case, Brown and more than a dozen attorneys general are opposing the Department of Homeland Security's effort to end temporary protected status from Honduran, Nepali, and Nicaraguan immigrants. DHS recently announced it was ending TPS for those groups. The attorneys general warned that sending those immigrants back puts them in danger, and all taking away TPS status would strip the legal status of 60,000 people. And a Maryland migrant caught in a legal crossfire has scored a small victory, but his battle to stay in the U.S. is far from over.
A federal judge in Nashville has ordered Kilmar Abrego Garcia to be released on bail, and a federal judge in Maryland has prohibited the Trump administration from taking Garcia into immediate immigration custody if he's released from jail in Tennessee. Willing prosecutors failed to prove he's a flight risk or a danger while awaiting trial on human smuggling charges, but his freedom hangs in the balance. A magistrate judge must still rule on his request to delay the transfer by 30 days.
Immigration authorities say they'll detain him again immediately, setting off a new legal battle over whether he can be deported a second time. A Maryland judge has issued a 72-hour hold on his removal.
He's pleaded not guilty and claims the case is less about justice and more about covering up a federal blunder.
And you're watching CTV News. I'm Katera Jones.
Yes, and I'm Byron Scott. Believe it or not, still to come, have the students become the teachers?
Students are now rating how satisfied they are with their advanced courses. We have more details on that story when we return.
I wish people knew that when you live in a small town like mine, it's much harder to find friends with common interests, especially ones my age. I often feel really alone.
Same here. Seems like every time we finally settle somewhere, I have to pack up and move again. By the time I make a friend, a real friend, I have to say goodbye to them.
I totally get it. I live in a big city, but it can feel just as lonely. It's tough, but it gets easier.
Honestly, I totally get what you're going through. It's nice to know that you feel the same.
You enjoyed my story. I really enjoyed your story as well.
Welcome back. The College Board just released student satisfaction ratings for its AP courses, and AP Calculus BC topped the charts with an average score of 8 out of 10, close behind U.S. government, European history, and U.S. history. CTV News spoke with the Prince George's County's student member who said she loves taking multiple AP classes.
My AP course journey, it really did start in 10th grade.
I took AP United States Government United States Government, so AP Gov. And then last year, my junior year, I took 4 APs. My initial reaction when I saw like the way people really rated their AP courses, of course, I felt like that was, the genuine truth, because it's the people who are grading the way they feel about their AP exams.
Now, she plans to take even more AP courses during her senior year.
And Senators Angela Also Brooks and Chris Van Hollen have introduced legislation aimed at saving the lives of student athletes. The Jordan McNair Student Athlete Heat Fatality Prevention Act is named after a former University of Maryland football player who collapsed during practice back in 2018. The legislation will require high school and college athletic programs to implement heat illness emergency action plans in line with local emergency responders.
Attorney General Anthony Brown and the Maryland Commission on Civil Rights releases a new tool to help Marylanders better understand their rights. The 37-page booklet, which is also available in Spanish, is known as the Know Your Rights, a guide to understanding and protecting your rights. It is designed to give Marylanders important information about the civil rights protections they have here in the state. Some of the protections that are discussed in the booklet include housing discrimination, employment, and health services, among others. And Maryland joins a growing list of states where the Justice Department is requesting certain voter information. According to reports, the Maryland State Board of Elections received a letter from the Department of Justice. The letter raised concerns over the state in removing ineligible and duplicate voters from its roster. Reports show that the Justice Department is requesting Maryland voter registration data from November of 2022 to November of 2024, as well as the number of voters who were ineligible to cast a ballot during that period. A conservative law firm also sent a letter to the state's elections board alleging, quote, implausibility high voter turnout in the state and in some specific counties.
And a recent report indicates that regular energy customers, not corporations, will bear the burden of the increased costs related to the growth of data centers. According to a report by Monitoring Analytics, between 2024 and 2025, data center power usage accounted for $9 billion in increased power costs. Customers of PJM Interconnection, which manages the electric power grid for 13 states and the District of Columbia, were told to expect a roughly $25 increase on their monthly bill last month. The state of Virginia is recognized as the global hub for data centers, and on top of that, a key electricity auction that was held yesterday involving PJM means electricity bills are expected to go up next year as much as 5%. Well, college basketball has changed a lot in the last few years, and now some are questioning whether players getting paid is a distraction from the game itself.
That's right, Byron. CTV's Benji Kaufman has more on a crucial new rule that was announced this summer and how some athletes at the University of Maryland are handling it.
If you wanted to play basketball in college, you play ball in high school, get recruited by coaches, and then you play at a university for a few years. But if you are a fan of college basketball, you know that is not the case anymore. And with all these moving factors of players getting paid, NIL, rev share, it's hard for players to navigate it all, especially because the rules keep changing.
When I was entering college, the NIL space was worlds different, which is crazy because that was only 2 years ago. Yeah. But that just goes to show you how quickly everything is moving.
It was announced this summer that universities are now allowed to pay athletes directly, instead of just through name, image, and likeness deals, which started 4 years ago. These new opportunities are exciting, but the Maryland women's basketball team is not letting the noise get in the way of the real focus of basketball.
I have my agency that I'm so happy to be a part of, that they get to deal with all that, and I get to just focus on doing what I love, which is playing basketball.
Coaches are attacking the sport the same way, with the staff managing the game and a general manager handling the money piece.
I love that it's separate, and that's how the pro model is.
And for Coach Brenda Fries, these changes are a reality check for her players.
Understanding and realizing what real life is about.
Especially for the ones eyeing the pros.
Obviously money is something into it, but I try to put the most emphasis on basketball and what will be the best for me on the court.
They're learning these life skills right now in college.
But don't get them wrong. These athletes have been waiting for this moment in college sports to come.
This is my worth. This is what I've been working towards for years and looking to get compensated in that way.
From College Park, Benji Kaufman, CTV News.
Still to come on CTV News, cheese, pepperoni, olives, and anchovies. What do these things have in common?
And if these are a few of your favorite things, you don't want to miss this next story. Stay tuned.
Tonight on CTV News, I stopped by PC University to learn the art and history of pizza making. I'm Sierra Jackson, and I'll have that story tonight on CTV News.
My name's Stacy, I'm 57, and I was adopted in 2020.
We were adopted in 2019.
And we were adopted in 2021.
We had a house, and it sounds crazy, but it wasn't a home. The one thing that Jake and Emma brought is it became a home.
When I met Dakota, he had just turned 14.
You weren't there for the first this and the first that. I missed the first words, but we got a lot of other firsts.
Watching her say, oh my God, I cannot believe I got my license. And she's like, I passed. And I'm like, girl.
See them grow. It is.
They chose to love us. They didn't have to. They chose us. Family.
You and you.
Kids in the middle.
What I thought was a complete life was nowhere near complete, but it is now.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org.
Got one of these hanging on the wall? You're qualified. One of these? You're qualified too. Love a good checklist? Qualified. 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 Yep, qualified. Because if you know how to put up anything in your home, you're qualified to save lives by installing free smoke alarms in your community. Go to soundthealarm.org to find a volunteer event near you.
Welcome back. If you feel like you're always stuck in traffic around D.C., it's not just in your head. A new report from Consumer Affairs ranks the D.C. region as the worst in the nation when it comes to traffic. The average commute, 33.4 minutes, and gridlock that stretches nearly 6.5 hours each day. That's more than enough to knock Los Angeles out of the top spot. The study also found that drivers spend the equivalent of 71 days a year just sitting in traffic. If you're looking for relief, head north. Rochester, New York ranked best for traffic, with commutes averaging just 21 minutes.
And summer is heating up, and so is the housing market in Prince George's County. According to the local Realtors Association, home sales jumped nearly 7% in June, pushing total sales volume to just under $340 million compared to last year. Sales and volume are both up. While prices are holding steady, Prince George's continues to outperform the national trend thanks to a solid job market, lower than average unemployment, and homes that are still relatively affordable in the region.
Well, 2 communities in Montgomery County make the list of wealthiest suburbs in the United States. According to Go Banking Rate, a personal finance website, Potomac and Bethesda both land on the list of America's 50 wealthiest suburbs. Potomac ranks 29th on the list with an average household income of more than $287,000. Bethesda takes the 34th spot with a household income of more than $281,000 and a typical home value of $1.2 million. And you know what, Byron?
Tell me.
On my pizza, I just love pepperoni and sausage. That's it. I don't need anything else. What about you?
Cheese.
Just cheese?
Cheese.
Okay. Well, in honor of National Culinary Month, CTV News stopped by one local culinary school that has spent the last 7 years teaching students the arts of pizza making.
Pizza Queen Sierra Jackson has that story.
Neapolitan pizza is much more than just food. It's part of our culture, it's part of our community, it's part of our life.
Pepperoni, Hawaiian, or margarita, no matter how you slice it, it's National Culinary Month. And tonight, I take you to a culinary school that can't be topped.
Creating Pizza University in Culinary Arts was extremely important for us to give it back to the community that made us successful, but also to make sure that anyone that goes in the industry understands that this is a serious business. And you need to spend time to learn the arts of pizza making. You need to spend time to educate yourself. And you need to have a place where you can actually, learn the arts of pizza making.
Pizza University is very diverse in the offerings that we bring to our students. So it doesn't matter if it's Italian styles of pizza or the American styles. We have instructors that are literally from all over the world that come in and specialize in these.
I spoke with one student born in Sicily who says even as a native Italian, he's picked up new skills at Pizza University to take back to his restaurant.
There's a lot of tricks, in this job. There's a lot of knowledge that you need to know. Even if you know how to make pizzas like me, you really need to come here and learn with these people. Because these people know more about it. They've been doing pizzas for 30, 40 years. And they bring the culture from Sicily, from Italy, from Rome, Naples, whatever. They bring it here in the U.S. and teach it to other people. That's why I'm here.
I'm a somewhat self-taught chef. I've worked at some really great restaurants, worked on some really amazing chefs, but most of the stuff that I know is I learned on my own. And so being in pizza, there's so many questions that you don't really have a lot of peers to help you out with. And so being able to come in here and have two master pizzarolos who you're going to ask all these questions to, they've really helped me in almost every aspect of what I'm doing.
Leo says Pizza University students are treated like alumni, and he looks forward to adding more skilled workers into the community.
We've guided so many students from an enthusiast that maybe bakes at home on the weekends in their backyard using a portable oven to building their first brick and mortar and having their first pizzeria. So really this was the core of Francesco and Enzo Mara when they decided they were going to start a pizza school, to say we really need to go back to supporting an industry and how do we put more skilled labor back into the system.
Sierra Jackson, CTV News.
And Pizza University offers online courses as well. For more information about Pizza University and the courses offered, visit pizzauniversity.org.
Time to pause for our pet of the week, and this tail-wagging tourist is ready to make a pit stop in your heart.
Meet Japan, a 3-year-old white and black Dogo Argentino mix who's been roaming the shelter since June 21st. Animal Services says he's a globetrotter of love, packed with loyalty, cuddles, and plenty of playful barks.
He's 3 years old, so it's relatively young, but it's not a puppy. So I would say the training would be easy. Japan is a special case. He is deaf. If you know about Dogo Argentinos or all white dogs in general, a lot of them do come deaf. But I would definitely talk to your vet about adopting a deaf dog, or maybe research how to do hand signs. It definitely is a possibility to train a dog that's deaf by learning hand signaling.
And if you'd like to book a one-way trip to Japan or meet any of his furry travel buddies, call Animal Services at 301-780-7200 or scan the QR code on your screen.
Your perfect companion could be just one adoption away.
You're having too much fun there. And don't go away just yet.
That's right. Simon Buggs is here with our Wednesday sports page. What's going on in sports, Simon?
Don't go anywhere, guys, because I have some volleyball highlights coming your way. Stay tuned.
My opponent is completely disregarding almost half of my arguments which I respond to.
Communities must step up.
Laws
and
alone
protest
cannot
against this
stop a
normalization.
bullet.
Well, I completely disagree.
Point of inquiry, do you guys even realize that the #1 killer of children and teens are gun injuries?
You're probably starting to realize now, this is not a debate.
There is no adult in this earth that wants children to die.
I worry for my kids.
All right, everybody, it's time for your Wednesday sports page. Now, the AR Stars Volleyball Club in District Heights hosted an exciting matchup last night as the Free Ballers took on Team MacArthur. In the first set, Team MacArthur got off to a good start as this sweet ace from Carmen Glenn and this hit on the ball by Miley Monroe helped the team jump out to an 11-4 lead. But fast forward to later in the set, the Free Ballers began to close the gap as this clutch block from Kendall Weaver and mistakes by Team MacArthur like this spike out of bounds had the team only down 18-15 at one point. But Team MacArthur was able to hold off the Free Ballers, and these nice serves by Nia Travis that resulted in more aces for her squad helped put the Free Ballers away. And her team won the first set 25-16. Moving on to the second set, Team MacArthur built another lead mainly due to them racking up aces as it seemed like the Free Ballers had no answer for their serving. But as the set went on, Team MacArthur's lead went from as much as 6 to just 3, thanks in part to the Free Ballers getting some aces of their own, like this one from Lauren Hall. Then with Team MacArthur being ahead 24-21 and needing just one more point to win the set and the game, it was a back and forth sequence as both teams looked to give themselves another point. After this hit on the ball by Kaylin Wilson to get the ball back over the net, the Free Ballers couldn't recover and hit the ball out of bounds, giving them the final point of the set to win it 25-21. Here's head coach Adriel Brisbane, libero Gabrielle Graham, and middle hitter Kaylin Wilson on what they liked from the team during the two sets.
Their communication was okay. Their serves were very decent, and they attacked, when needed. They didn't allow the tall girl to intimidate them too much, so they was able to pick up scrappy plays as well.
Because most of our team isn't here at this moment, I really liked how we adjusted to situations that we weren't, normally put in, and people were in new positions that they never played before, and we adjusted very well.
So I really like our serving techniques. Like our serving was right there, I would say, and our rotation has gotten a little better, so that was pretty good.
Meanwhile, the Burgundy and Gold began training camp, and one person that is currently absent from the team is wide receiver Terry McLaurin, as the two-time Pro Bowler continues to hold out due to wanting a new contract. General Manager Adam Peters spoke on the situation yesterday, and he says he's adamant about extending the Ohio State product.
First, I think, without a doubt, I think everybody in this building values Terry very much, and we knew that coming in, and we knew that even more after spending a year with him. In terms of where we're at, we've had conversations recently, and we'll look to have some more conversations, and we're going to do everything we can in order to get a deal done.
Now, I think I speak for all Commanders fans when I say Adam Peters needs to lock in and get this deal done. Jaden Daniels needs his wide receiver 1 on the field with him. And wrapping up sports, the Washington Mystics fell to the Los Angeles Sparks last night, 93-86. Their next opponent will be the Seattle Storm on Saturday. And that wraps up your Wednesday sports page. Back to you, Byron and Katera.
And now for our community calendar, the city of Bowie is calling all lovers of art with an appreciation for Mother Nature to come out to the Nature's Palette Artist Reception.
And that reception is set for tomorrow, July 24th from 7 to 8:30 p.m. at Bowie City Hall. The event is free to the public and the exhibit runs through September 19th. And that's our news for tonight. I'm Byron Scott. Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you again tomorrow. Good night.